Hey, Neil, do you know what's not going through a hard fork?
I have no idea. Please tell me.
Our Telegram group. Everyone should join. Search for us on Telegram. Analysis in Chains.
This is the Analysis in Chains with Nathan Williams and Neil Kieran.
Welcome to Analysis in Chains and welcome to Crypto Winter. Are you cold over there, Neil? How's things going?
Yeah, it's started to snow over here in Montreal, which is really sums things up at the moment. I think this time last week I was full of happiness and joy and, thinking crypto was going to the moon. And now a week later, it's freezing in Montreal and I don't like the look of my crypto portfolio right now.
Yeah, me either. Although this really does go to show you that the market is very susceptible to external events that are hard to predict. And so one of the big things has been the Bitcoin Cash war. I think that caught everyone off guard.
Yeah, same here. I think it was like this time last week when we were doing the last episode. I was full of hope and optimism, and I was trying to read the tea leaves, and everything seemed to be going the right direction. And when Bitcoin Cash was pumping, I thought, hey, this is normal because there's a hard fork coming. People are thinking, hey, free money. No different to last year when we had all those hard forks for Bitcoin and Bitcoin Gold and Bitcoin Platinum and what have you. And while they were
contentious,
so while they were contentious at the start, I think once the Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash hard fork happened and it happened successfully, people eased off and thought, hey, maybe hard forks are not such a bad thing. So when Bitcoin Cash was hard forking or about to hard fork, I think a lot of people thought the same. So the Bitcoin Cash started pumping, but then once it started to become a bit more heated and some words were said, and it's like, oh, actually, this hard fork could be a fight to the death, which could actually see a lot of value disappear. Like essentially one chain would become like a black hole of money. I think people kind of start freaked out and started like cashing out in crypto in a big way.
Now, for those of our listeners who might not know exactly what a hard fork is or what's going on, essentially Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin and all of these other blockchains are running on many, many computers. And you'll end up having pools of computers that will mine together. They will keep track of transactions and perform cryptographic security in order to get rewarded with a certain number of tokens, Bitcoin Cash coins, and that sort of thing. And when two different groups end up changing their software algorithms so that they're no longer compatible, it's like they split off like a cell and become unable to communicate with each other. So they'll share the same history, but the future will be completely separate. So you end up having coins in two different systems. So last year, when everyone was hyped about crypto, it was great because you had Bitcoin and then a group said, hey, we want to change the algorithm. We want a larger block size, or we want it to move faster, or whatever. And when they did that, they split off, and everyone who held Bitcoin would also hold the new coins. And the prices of everything were going up last year, and so that just added to people's value. This year, it's not quite the same. The market is very different, and so the values aren't going up as fast, and that means people are much more acrimonious, and it looks like one of the fork sides is in Bitcoin Cash is trying to bring the other down.
Good job. I think you did better than most YouTube vloggers and podcasts out there to explain what's happening, because it is a minefield, and I think you really have to sort of like look at it from a high level view and say, okay, well, what's going on here? And basically, major dispute. And I think it's because one side wants to get rid of Craig Wright. I think Craig Wright is known as fake fake Satoshi. He's the guy who came out as Satoshi Nakamoto. And I actually believe he is Satoshi Nakamoto.
That's okay. You're allowed to be wrong, Neil.
Yeah. but I think one reason is that I read a book by Andrew Hagen, which he was supposed to write about Craig Wright becoming Satoshi and stuff like this. And he was there behind the scenes for the whole sort of fake proof that he did. And, as a reader, you start to realize actually, this guy may, after all, be Satoshi Nakamoto, and maybe take someone as messed up as Craig Wright to come up with blockchain, and someone as paranoid as Craig Wright to come up with blockchain. So that's why I'm more open to the idea. And personally, I like the idea. I like to think that anyone that is a legend and is seen as perfect and all-knowing, I'm like, everyone's farts smell bad. There's no way Satoshi Nakamoto is perfect and all-knowing and could foresee everything. So I like the idea that he was a flawed character, and that's why I think Craig Wright is Satoshi Nakamoto.
Fair enough. I liked Vitalik's take on it, which when he said, if there was undisputable proof that Craig Wright was indeed Satoshi Nakamoto, it would do more to harm my view of Satoshi than it would do to increase my view of Craig Wright. But that aside, Craig Wright is on one side of this hard fork that has gone very, very sour. So you've essentially got two mining pools in Bitcoin Cash that are at odds. You've got Bitcoin Cash ABC, which is run by a mining pool called ABC, and it's a group of computer miners that are mining Bitcoin Cash. And then you have the other side, which is SV, which stands for Satoshi's Vision. That's the one backed by Craig Wright. The ABC is backed by Jihan Wu, who is from Bitmain. And so these two are at odds with each other, but it's not just a friendly, we're going our separate ways. One has threatened to take down the other. And the way that they are doing it is with what's called mining empty blocks. So when you mine a block, you're essentially confirming a block of transactions in order to cryptographically secure it. Now, if I go and put my computing power onto your network, so if I've got Satoshi's Vision and I'm mining empty blocks on Bitcoin Cash ABC, what that means is I have potential to get a longer chain than you have. It's like a 51% attack. Sure, I'm not getting transaction fees because there's no one actually getting transactions confirmed with the network. But what it does is it slows down the ABC network. It makes it so that people can't get transactions confirmed. It's like a DDoS attack. And as a result, then people abandon it and it drives the price down. So this is sort of what's going on, is that these two sides are attacking each other and attempting to run the other one out of the market in order to be the real Bitcoin Cash.
And the thing is, it didn't have to be this way. And on one hand, I would like to see Satoshi Vision fail, because they're the ones who really kind of created the war. Both parties could have gone two different ways. ABC wanted to keep, I believe, the block size at, 32 megabytes? And Satoshi Vision wanted to go up to 64 megabytes or something like this. It was all about, again, block size. But I believe that ABC just wanted to get rid of Craig Wright because he was pushing a particular vision upon Bitcoin Cash that was not, it didn't have the full consensus of all people. And the reason I would like to see Satoshi Vision fail is more because, Craig Wright, as long as he's in Bitcoin, and even if he was, say, Satoshi Nakamoto, I don't think blockchain and Bitcoin is profiting from him at all. And he kind of, creates a lot of acrimony between many camps. And if he does fail, it goes to show, hey, look, Bitcoin, blockchain, it's built to sort of stop these bad actors like Craig Wright. If he is successful, that makes me a bit nervous, because then it goes to show actually people like Craig Wright can be successful and hack the system. So this is why I was, this is why I'm on one side of this whole debate. And on the one hand, like, you could look at Craig Wright and Satoshi Vision and say, hey, screw you, I'm after losing money because of you. But at the same time, it's like a cancer, it's like a virus. And it's important for blockchain and crypto to develop antibodies that protects them from these actors coming in, trying to take over and determine a vision upon everyone else on how crypto is to evolve. So it's not just for me a war on Bitcoin Cash, but it kind of could set a precedent for things going forward when crypto decides to hard fork.
It is interesting what this demonstrates. It demonstrates just how susceptible to politics crypto is. And when you're talking about proof of work, it's sort of this ideal of decentralization, of no one being in charge, but it really isn't quite 100% that way. You've got different groups with different levels of power that all have to be in some way appeased. And we have seen this coming for a while now, that ever since it became more than merely individuals mining on their graphics cards or GPU mining, ever since ASICs came into play, it became a business, with the larger businesses and mining pools having much more power over the system than individuals, and that there's money to be had here, and lots of it. And so even though it's not a formalized structure, it's almost to the level of, international negotiations with people who have never done international negotiations. So it's a bit of a mess. It almost makes me wonder if it's solvable, first of all, if we should all be moving to Monero or something that is really meant to be mined on individual computers and is ASIC resistant, or if in the long term we're going to see more importance placed on these proof of stake systems, or even on things like proof of authority, where you have trusted entities and you move into a more corporate model.
Yeah, I think you completely read my mind, Nathan, because this is what I've been thinking about since the whole crash. It's no coincidence that Ripple has been the best performing crypto since the whole crash. Now, you could say it's down to some agreements that they have had, but at the same time, if that is able to maintain its value when everything else is going down, it goes to show that, maybe not everyone is completely bought on this proof of work model, and it is quite vulnerable. And I think people are going to be a lot more open now to proof of stake models and other types out there, like EOS, for example. I know, but the thing about EOS,
seriously.
I know what you're saying. There's a lot of weird things about EOS, but at the same time, they're kind of like, if you look at the top 10 coins, they're the furthest into this development than most other. I know like Cardano is supposed to be proof of stake, but hasn't really offered much yet for us to sort of to jump into. And I know Ethereum wants to jump into a form of proof of stake. This is still untested ground. And maybe, all of this proof of work could leave a bad taste in people's mouths, and then people may be a lot more, open to proof of stake. I know there's a huge debate over why proof of work only works and why proof of stake doesn't work, but I think it's important to be testing these new incentive models for verification and decentralization. But yeah, going back to your point, like, we'll see, like, it's going to be very interesting over the next few years to see, okay, can proof of work hold up in the long term, or are we going to see new protocols come into play that could really threaten Bitcoin then and its valuation?
Have you looked into NEM at all? I always found it interesting. I haven't looked into it too deeply, but they do like a proof of importance where you incorporate how long someone has been mining. So even someone, if they're small, if they've been mining for a long time, they still have participation in the hash rewards. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That is a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if there are sort of simple fixes. Like, I don't know if NEM is the solution. I mean, They obviously haven't overtaken Bitcoin, but I wonder if there are small adjustments that will make a bigger impact than like a completely out of left field adjustment, the like proof of stake or EOS or what have you.
Well, see, maybe this is the final thing that really has to be sorted out for crypto. If you think of the internet and search, for example, until Google came along with their own algorithm to improve the quality of search, it was kind of like internet was almost like moving at a slow pace. But once Google came along, it really helped internet pick up and develop much, much quicker. And I kind of feel like with crypto, like maybe proof of work is holding it back. And until we start to see these other protocols come out, maybe there's one form that could just unleash the potential of blockchain. And once that protocol is designed, maybe we're going to be in this sort of like crypto winter for a while.
Time will tell, Neil. Time will tell. But I can tell you one thing is that last I heard, people going in through Silicon Valley with a white paper that was hard crypto base protocol with a new consensus mechanism were commanding 200 million plus valuations with white paper alone. So,
wow.
Yeah. So we haven't yet solved some of the core issues with the base protocol. Even though a lot of us, like me, we're all working on these second layer protocols, the base protocol still has issues that haven't been resolved. And, hopefully we'll see more and more work being done on that, but it's we're far from out of the woods with it.
Yeah, I agree. But anyway, watch this space. I'm sure once it's determined, it's really going to take off.
And the one last thought I'll leave you with, if Craig Wright really was Satoshi Nakamoto, he could just make a transfer from Satoshi Nakamoto's wallet to prove it.
Oh, yeah. And so, which this is, I find very, very funny. If you did follow, I know we wanted to wrap up, but if you actually did follow the arguments between Bitcoin Jesus, Roger Ver, and Craig Wright wrote to Bitcoin Jesus saying you could have had proof, which was just like this last, scream of desperation, which I thought was kind of tragic, but kind of funny at the same time. It actually made me think it really was him as well. It was like, please world, believe me. But no, Craig Wright, I'm afraid blockchain's going to have to expel you because you know what? You're not adding value. So cheerio.
I still think it was Hal Finney. I mean, I know that Hal Finney had conversations with Satoshi, but I think he was just talking to himself because he was paranoid as well. And he died, so you can't prove it. So, but at least it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm starting to think we should have like add-on episodes where we just, get into debates of who really was Satoshi Nakamoto and just like, go off on crazy random spiels. Anyway, I think that would be a great bonus Christmas episode for our listeners.
There we go. Maybe that'll be what we do for Christmas. All right, Neil, have a good week.